Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. Sara Scraps, who has a Facebook group called Rediscover Your Stash, encourages us in January to use what we have and even go on a spending freeze if you want. And she also offers some challenges throughout the month to help you use up things you already have. And she asked if some of us would like to issue a challenge as well, and I volunteered. So I thought about a whole bunch of things, but I decided on something old, something new. And one way I encourage myself to use really old stuff is to pair it with something newer that I already have and put them together. So that's what I'm doing here. I have these two photos of me and my brother Tom at his college graduation. And here I've created a 12 by 12 page that I created a frame around. I have this washi tape. That is my newer item. And here are some things from my stash. Some of it is really old. I got these off a give-take table, years ago. I've never used them, so I pulled them out and I got 3 of them on here, so I'm happy about that. I have this die cut that I made, probably a year ago. I have these titles from Cocoa Vanilla, and they are really old. I've had them probably 4 years is my guess. I pulled out some ink. The first thing I need to do is use undo and get as much of the tape off of these as I can. These were taped into an album long before we knew that tape was not a good thing for photographs. And I got a lot of it off. There is still a little bit of sticky residue. And there's 2 little places where I couldn't get the tape off without ripping the photo, so I opted to leave it. I will probably make some copies of these. I took photos of the photographs. And, yeah, so that's what I did. And I'm just using this little tool, a metal spatula type thing. If you can get under the edge of the tape in one little place, it comes off pretty well. And I don't worry about the undo has never hurt one of my photos, and I have done this quite a bit. And even if you get some, like you'll see there's a big splotch on my background paper of the undo, it just dries and in a little while you don't even see it. So there we go. I got as much off as I could. And I trimmed these off, the edges off just a little bit because the edges were pretty worn. So I trimmed a tiny bit off of each one and then re-rounded the corners with my Creative Memories corner rounder. Now I'm using this great big roll of washi tape. This came in a 49 Market mystery box. I have no idea what collection it's from. I love it, but I haven't used it yet. And I thought, I want to use this. So I just decided to kind of use it like a scrap of paper, a strip of paper that I was going to put down the whole length of a layout. And I trimmed it off and I just kind of bent the tape and tucked it under that edge there. And I ended up bending the black a little bit, but you can't tell. I glue it down a little better and it is fine. It's kind of funny. I went through all sorts of things in my mind trying to come up with what to do for this challenge. I way overthought it, but I did come up with an idea for another project I'm going to do. So that was good. And you can see that I gutted that black cardstock there, and that's what I used to map my photos. And so this piece is a scrap from a layout I just finished, but I don't think the video has gone up yet. It's a 49 Market piece, and I love that brick. It reminds me of the college campus where my brother was graduating from that day. And then this is a scrap from my 100 pattern paper challenge. I put 2 half sheets in there to count as one, and this is one of those. It's actually a little bigger than a half. But it worked with the color scheme of that brick paper. And other than the that one color. This is a pretty neutral page. So I debated about which one to put on top. I did end up trimming these into banners, and then I used the black soot ink that you see there on the left. Here I was just measuring so I could find about the middle of that piece. Cut up and then just trim it into the inverted V. Some people bend theirs in half and do that, and sometimes I do that, but this 49 to market cardstock is too thick. I couldn't make that work. And then I wanted some splatter on the background sheet. So I put down way more black soot distress oxide than I needed. And here I went over to my bin to find oh, I was getting a piece of scrap paper. This is, I keep a stack of the inserts that come out of page protectors, and this is one of those. So I wanted to hide my, that big washi tape strip down the center. I just added a little bit of water and splatter, splatter, splatter. And I hope you'll be able to see it in the close-up shots, but it does really add something to the page. Even though it's very small and very simple, I think it made a difference. And I decided, since I love this brick paper so much, I wanted it to be the top layer. And of course I ended up trimming too much off the other one, so I just split it in half, as is my usual. Then I pulled in another scrap, in a minute, I guess. So I was doing a 2-page spread about my brother's college graduation day. And I mentioned it to him and showed him the pictures, and he said, "There's a picture of you and me together walking down the sidewalk." And I remembered that picture when he said it. So I got to looking through an old scrapbook that my mom had made of my childhood, and there were these two photos. So I decided that these two would be their own page because they're just the two of us. One is in his dorm room with me wearing his cap, and then the other is that one of us walking down the sidewalk there. I trimmed out 4 of these little words, but I only ended up using 3. I used timeless, precious, and beautiful. I inked the edges. And I kind of wish I had inked the edges of the main background piece, but I didn't, and it's too late now, so that's okay. It has a black border anyway, so it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. Some other things that I pulled from my stash to use on here. From Simple Stories, I used a self-adhesive brad that you'll see at the end. That's been in my stash for ages. And I used a piece from a scrap of grid paper. I created a tag from that and did my journaling on there, which you'll see in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and read my journaling. It says, "Tom was 15 when I was born, and 15 years later, I'm still his little sister." No, 57 years later, I'm still his little sister. While he was at IUP, we made several trips there, 90 minutes on a winding, hilly road, and I really hated that road and always said, "I'll never go to IUP." Funny how that went, because I did attend IUP, and exactly 16 years later, I graduated from there too. He worked at IUP while I was in grad school there, and we often had lunch together. I wish I had a picture of that. And it literally, I looked up the graduation dates for the years that he and I graduated, was the same day, May 18th of our respective years. So I thought that was kind of funny. This scrap of paper I have had for probably 5 years in my drawer, and I ended up not even using it, or both pieces. I only used one. So I also put a banner end on this one, though I kind of wish I had done something different than that banner piece, but it doesn't matter, it's okay. This has a little bit of a metallic hint to it, and it's unique because it combines, has a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, and a little bit of copper. I really like this paper. And the black background brings the black that's around the whole edge of the layout to the forefront a little bit. So this is pretty much where my photos end up. I'm not sure what I do next, if it's my title or my journaling, but I make my title from two separate things. One is that Moments die cut that I had in my stash. I had made it for a different layout and ended up not using it. And there's probably 2, maybe 3 of those die cuts layered together. And then the other one is a foam sticker from a title package, and it just says sweet. I think the original title is Sweet, Our Sweet Story or something like that. I have this pretty copper ribbon, so I added, or maybe it's not copper, I don't know. Anyway, it's a metallic and I just threw it in there. And I decided to thread the ribbon through and then tie a knot with some black cord. And that is how that ended up. I pulled 3 hearts off of the Cocoa Vanilla title page. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. I added 3 black hearts. I added a couple 49 in Market stickers. And then I already mentioned the self-adhesive brad from a Simple Stories package. You will see those in the still shots because I did not have them, I can't think. I didn't have them out when I was filming. So, we're coming up on still shots. Please visit the Facebook group. Please take this challenge to pair something really old with in your stash with something newer that you're excited about using and put them together. Share it in the group. Please tag me so that I see it, or put it in the right album so that it'll be called Something Old, Something New, I think. And I hope that you have fun with this and use up some of your own stash. Thanks, Sarah, for having me and for hosting this challenge every January. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here today and for watching. I appreciate you being here. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Take care, and I hope that you get to scrapbook something very soon. Bye-bye.